Welcome to this edition of Growing Old Gracefully BS. And today we're going to be talking about how to enjoy the holidays. And we've recruited an expert, Holly Swenson. She is back with us today. She appeared here a little over a year ago. We were talking about her then new book, Stop, Drop, Glow, and Grow: How to Cultivate a Happy Life. Holly, welcome to The Truth and Merry Christmas.
Hi, John. Thank you for having me, and Merry Christmas to you as well.
Why are the holidays so dang difficult for many people?
I think it comes down to the amount that we pile onto ourselves. I think it's whether I think it comes down to different gatherings. You've got the stress of financial stress. I think you have a shortage of time, and so you're also not taking care of yourself. And so I think there's a lot of layers to why stress builds for folks, especially at the holidays. And for some, it can bring up hard memories. If you don't have good associations with this time of year, it can be challenging for some.
I was with my best friend over Thanksgiving a decade ago, and it was actually after Thanksgiving. It was Thanksgiving weekend, Saturday after. And we sat down for lunch, and I said, well, I'm so honored to be here with just us. Usually whenever I would be with them, there'd be a big crowd. And we were dove shooting, and we sat down to lunch, and my best friend's wife said, "Oh, John, we're so happy to have you. Don't think a thing about it. You're family." And I thought, oh, shoot. I don't know that that's a good thing. Why do we treat family and present so differently to our friends?
That's a great question. And I wonder too if there isn't an element of trying to bridge that more because, I think for some people they resonate more with their friends, right? Maybe they get on better with their friends than they do their family, and for others, they're very family centric. And so I think it depends on, your upbringing and your experiences as a human being, which vary so much from people to people. But I think that's profound. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that there's room for people to maybe bridge like, how do you treating your friends as though they were family. And really, I think growing in that way I think that opens the door for something special.
Well, I was kind of suggesting that just the reverse, that we treat our family more like we do our friends, because, I don't think we're as prone to, maybe we don't even know where to push the buttons and poke the knife a little bit, poke the bear, but we sure as heck know how to do it with our own family members. And we're not reticent to doing it as much with family. And with our friends, we'd never do that unless we were just trying to have some fun at their expense. But I think we sometimes afford more respect to our friends than we do our own family members. That's what I was trying to say.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't catch that the first time around. And I think I have to add is I think the reason is because we feel safest with our family. So we can let our guard down like completely. And so we also behave poorly. We can behave more poorly with the people we love the most because we feel the safest.
And our family, for the most part, are stuck with us. I mean, my kids, I'm their dad. It doesn't matter what happens. But with our friends, they can jettison us in a moment's notice, without notice, if we cross the line and breach the boundaries. So the question today is, how do we retain the joy and happiness of Christmas? And I just remember that when I was a kid, I was so excited and so happy to have Christmas. And I've got this picture of me sitting on my father's lap with my grandfather sitting next to him. It is one of the pictures I cherish the most. I look at that picture and I'm happy all over again. And so I am determined that I'm going to maintain my happiness and joyfulness around Christmas. But it does become more challenging as we get older and then relate to our family in different ways.
Sure. I think for me, I see it as being helpful to remember what this time of year is really about. So it is spending time with loved ones and coming together and I think enjoying tradition. So you want to be trying to spread cheer and giving thanks as much as you can. And I think That's a practice that you cultivate within yourself. And so, and I also think that no matter how quirky or controversial your loved ones are, trying to embrace them and lightening up a bit when you get, whatever time you get together, I think it's just important to really be clear on what your focus is on, because that's where your energy is going to go. And I always say, like, the best place to start is to prioritize your own self-care. We haven't been brought up to feel like self-care is okay. I think it's more of like maybe thought of as being selfish. But I think when you step into the holiday season with how much is asked of you, trying to be intentional there can actually help you thrive.
So tell us what that looks like. What strategies would you recommend that people employ to look after themselves first?
Yes. So two of the best ways to practice self-care, and these are easy. These are something that's available for anyone. Sleep. Okay, so we think of sleep as being very basic, but you really want to aim for 7 to 9 hours per night, because this is going to help you with emotional regulation, keeping your immune system strong. And I think really just keeping your energy levels feeling lifted when, I think sometimes during this type of time of year, we want to hibernate or go with it. We just aren't feeling, maybe as revved up to get out in the world. And the second one that I want to mention is movement. Okay, so shooting for half an hour to an hour of movement every day, whether it's hitting the gym, going for a walk or run, maybe yoga class, whatever you're into, lean on it and try to stay consistent, because I really believe this is one of the best buffers there is. And regular movement reduces stress, releases endorphins, and it can just improve your mood. So when you are tended to, you're going to be much better able to navigate stress in your life. And some stress is good and some feels hard. So those are just two things that are available to anyone.
Well, those are pretty easy, really, when you think about it, as long as you don't wait until Christmas Eve to thaw the turkey and you get the presents wrapped before Christmas Eve and you put the dang dollhouse together before Christmas Eve, right?
Assembly, yes.
Then you can
Assembly.
sleep and wait for Santa Claus.
Exactly. Yes.
And movement is known. I've run multiple businesses at the same time, and it can be very stressful. And so I learned at a pretty young age in my career that going out for a run at the end of the day was a great way to deal with stress, because it's known that exercise just crushes stress hormones, does it not?
Absolutely. Yeah. It is some of the best medicine out there, I think, and so it's really just comes down to working up a sweat and moving your body. And again, it can be hard. It can be more challenging this time of year if, it's getting dark at 4:30 and, you feel like sleeping instead of moving, but it will make a tremendous difference in your life if you can weave it into your schedule.
So so now we've gotten a good night's sleep. We're gathered around the Christmas tree or maybe the family dinner table ready for Christmas lunch and a healthy dose of tryptophan. What strategies, what ideas do you provide or encourage that people do to avoid conflict at this time of the year?
Sure. So I have some great tips. So I think a great place to start is to not overindulge in substance. I think that this can open the door for poor decision making, arguments, and potentially aggressive behavior. So I think it's important just to practice moderation when you gather with your loved ones. The second tip is to consider avoiding controversial topics. So politics, religion, heated social issues, I think can be a source of disagreement and disharmony. However, I like to add that if you choose to engage with these topics, or if a family member wants to go deeper here, that you work to stay open minded, be curious, and try to be as kind as possible, because I think that this can really be a valuable practice in and of itself. It can work to actually nurture more understanding and respect of difference of opinion. So I think it's an opportunity for you all to learn something from one another, which I'm a fan of. I think it helps with growth. So another thing too that you might consider is to sidestep any sensitive family memories and maybe leave those for another day or another time. A fourth step would be that if you are really concerned about a family blow up in intense stress or toxic family situations, which some people have readily in their lives, you might consider spending your holidays with someone else, by yourself or with friends who fill your cup. I think that there is nothing wrong with a reroute when needed, and being intentional here could actually help you find more health and happiness during the holiday season. So I think sometimes it's okay to let go of that societal pressure to gather with family if it's not serving you, and just giving yourself permission to proceed with what feels the best and healthiest.
Sleep, move, no politics. That's going to be hard in my family. Avoid sensitive memories and maybe just decide not to show up if the environment is too toxic. I think those are wonderful strategies. Now, Holly, where are you spending your Christmas? And tell us about your family and how you all celebrate Christmas if you would.
Yeah, sure. So I will be we'll be at our home in Montana, and we have four sons, and so Christmas for us is always very special. We actually have a sister coming into town, and so we'll have their presence in our home as well, which I'm really looking forward to. But I think it's really just cooking and opening presents on Christmas morning and just spending time with each other. I'm hoping we get snow. We haven't had a lot of snow yet this year, so I would love to get out and play in the snow as well if we are so fortunate.
And will you be cooking Christmas dinner?
Of course, yes. We'll be cooking and yeah, cooking. And the other thing we like to do, I don't know if you've heard of it, it's called a bûche de Noël, but we usually do Christmas Eve. We share this special cake. We usually light a fire, and the kids each open one present on Christmas Eve, and then we wait until Santa brings, presents the next morning. But we definitely have some fun tradition that we lean on and look forward to.
Well, that sounds like a very joyous Christmas, and I hope that you have a wonderful Christmas. And I think that you've given great advice today about how to enjoy family and not dreading it. So I have written down what you've said. I will be reminding myself on Wednesday, December 25th, to be a good boy and to be respectful of others and to love the people that we're with and our family. And I hope you get some snow, but careful what you wish for. I've been to Montana. It is a beautiful place, but boy, can it snow.
Yes, it sure can.
Well, thank you so much, Holly Swenson, author of Stop, Drop, Glow, and Grow. She is a registered nurse. She is an author, mother of four boys. I thought I had problems. I got three boys, and they grow exponentially, not incrementally when you add to the numbers. But mine are now adults. We'll have our oldest son with us, with our brand new grandbaby who's a year old, and his wife, who will be traveling here from Los Angeles, and then our other two sons, one's in Atlanta, one's in Oklahoma. And they will not be with us on Christmas Day, but we'll be seeing them proximate to Christmas. So I hope you have a wonderful, happy holiday. And thank you so much, Holly. It's been a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you, John. Likewise. Merry Christmas.